first I'm going to start off by pretty much setting my concealer under my brow bone as well as my eyeshadow base. And I'm just using the shade Undercover from my Lorac Unzipped palette. This is just what I had closest to me, so I just reached for that. Then I'm going to go in with the shade Birkin from the Anastasia single eyeshadows. All the eyeshadows that I am using is from these singles from Anastasia, so I'm just going to mention the names. This one is Birkin, and I'm just going to use it on a pointed crease brush, blending straight through the crease. You want to make sure that your transition shade is the most blended, because this is the shade that is truly going to make your eyeshadows look really diffused and really blended, and that is because the eyeshadows are on the outer portion of the eyes. Next, I'm going to go in with more of a round crease brush, and I'm going to use the shade Camel from the singles eyeshadows from Anastasia as well, and I'm just going to use that just to start to define the crease a bit more. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade here called Rich Velvet, and it just has specks of glitter through it. And I'm using the word glitter very lightly. They are so tiny. You can see it in the palette, but as you guys can see, once it's applied to the lid, you're not really seeing that concentration of glitter. But in the palette, you can definitely see the shimmer effect to it. Next, I'm going to go in with that shade called Beauty Mark, and I'm just going to use that to diffuse Rich Velvet a bit more. I've really been drawn to these eyeshadows lately, and I did purchase those two, not realizing that they were so similar. But one is a matte texture, and one is, as I said, I think that the finish is called titanium, but I don't regret it at all, because as I said, I've just been drawn to these really plummy, deep shades lately, and it's something that you can use it all year round, because if not on the lid, you can use it to smoke out the outer portion of the eyes as well. Now, in order to make that shimmer or that glitter effect come alive, I'm going to apply that shade called Pink Champagne. Oh my goodness, guys, this is such a gorgeous color. If I would recommend any of the Anastasia finishes, this is the finish that I would recommend. They are absolutely beautiful and pink. I mean, all the shadows are beautiful, but these finishes are just out of this world. It's beautiful. But anyhow, I'm going to smoke out the look just a tad bit more, and I'm going to go in with Noir from the Tamana palette, which is also from Anastasia as well. For my lashes today, I am going to use the Pixie Luxe from House of Lashes, and if you guys did watch my 2014 beauty faves, I will link it down below. You would have seen me raving about many of the products that I actually am using today, but definitely these lashes, because they are so gorgeous. They look almost like mink lashes, but way more inexpensive. So I did put on my foundation, and I did use the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. So I'm just going to jump straight into highlighting and contour. For my highlighting today, I'm going to use MAC's Pro Longwear concealers, and I am using a beauty blender to blend that out. And with blending your highlighter, I find that going into the places that you want the least amount of coverage is the place that you want to start first. So I usually start with blending my chin, under my nose and around my nose, onto my forehead and my nose, and then I go under my eyes, because that's where I want most of the coverage. Then I'm going to set everything using my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder palette, and I will leave the color that I used down below. I don't quite remember what color I used to set my concealer. Next, I'm going to smoke out the lower lash line, and I'm going to go back into that camel shade. This, once again, it's such a beautiful shade, guys. If you love that really nice, warm, crease, this is just the perfect shade, and I just think it goes really well to blend out those other shades. So I'm just going to go in with a bigger brush just to blend it and diffuse it under the lower lash line. Then I'm going to use Feline, and Feline is what I'm going to put in my waterline, but you guys could also go with a peachy or a beigey tone for the inner waterline as well. I think that would also make this look gorgeous as well. But I am going to smoke out the lower lash line and go back in with the shade Beauty Mark to do so. Next, I'm going to kind of give the inner corner, inner portions of my eyes just a bit more light. I don't want to take away from what we have going on the lid, but I definitely wanted to bring a bit of light into the inner corners of the eyes, and I did go in with Glisten to do that. Now I'm going to go back to the skin, and to contour I'm going to go into my Anastasia Beverly Hills custom contour and highlight palette, and I'm going to go in with the shades, I think Nutmeg and don't remember, but once again I'll leave all of that down below, and I'm just going to go in and use that just to kind of bronze up the skin a bit. Then I'm going to go back in with Earth, and I'm going to start contouring my cheeks. I know there's a lot of controversy about contour versus bronzing and shades to use to contour and highlight in, but to me I think that any color that is darker than your skin tone you can use to contour. It is going to put that shadow there, and someone like me that has really yellowy orangey undertones, using a shade that is more warmer is going to look more flattering for me. If I do use something that is more gray toned, I'm just going to look ashy. But I did go in as well with Espresso just to kind of give me more of a contoured look. And that shade has more of a warm tone versus cool tone mixed in it as well. For my blush, I'm going to go with my Tarte palette. Not sure of the name, but to be honest guys, blush is blush is blush. Use anything that you have and I'm sure you will get the same effect. But I also didn't want anything that's just going to look too much because my eyes are already smoky. As you see, I mixed the two colors just giving such like a subtle warmth on the cheeks. And of course I'm going to continue with the warmth by highlighting, and I'm using my Bobbi Brown bronze highlighter to do that. Use whatever bronzer highlighter you have. This is just the one that I chose to use today. For my lips, I am going to keep it nude, but not ultra nude. I do want a bit of what would you say it? It's not very nudie, but it has a nice brown tone to it. That lipstick is why can't I remember this? Oh my gosh, it's right at the tip of my tongue. Anyhow, the lip liner was over, and the lipstick, yes, is Velvet Teddy. That's it. But as you guys can see, it's a bit brownie, a brownie nude, but I am going to go in with Agatha, I do remember that one, by Kat Von D, just to give me a slight lightness to the inner center of my lips. And I went back with Cork just to define the lips a bit more. And that is the complete look, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for my fumbles, but I will leave all the information in the box down below. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you guys in my next video.